welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about being the forefront of your life and taking control of all that it is and making sure that every decision you make is solely because you wanted to and not because your parents wanted you to. So I guess I'll start with my own story. I kind of grew up with authoritative parents, more my dad than my mom, but it seemed like every time I had a dream or a suggestion, even since I was a little girl, it was kind of persuaded by what my dad would suggest, like how about you be a doctor or a nurse, something in the medical field. And when I was younger, I'm like, yeah, you know, because I wanted to make my dad happy and I wanted to make him proud. So I would take those suggestions and try to tweak them and see if I could maybe like it someday. And it never ended up being something I liked, but because my whole life I've always just wanted to make my dad proud. And so I was like, yeah, you know, maybe I could be a doctor. All throughout high school and I get to my freshman year of college, I went to a school, that I did not choose, chosen by my father once again, and a major that I did not like, persuaded by my father. And so I hated it. I went to a private college and it was miserable the whole time. I went for a semester and then I dropped out. And my parents didn't understand why I dropped out. They just thought I was being rebellious, which I kind of was a little bit, but I honestly dropped out because I hated it. I wasn't doing what I loved and I wasn't doing what I loved where I wanted to do it. And so my only way of showing that was dropping out of school. And so I dropped out of school, and after that freshman year of college, I literally realized how much I hated how much I hated the medical field. Like, I myself don't like blood. I hate getting shots. I hate my blood being drawn. The hospital makes me nauseous. And when people get hurt, my first instinct is to faint. And so after that, it was such an eye-opener, and now it's just like, I dropped out, and I was still not able to voice what I wanted to do to my dad. So a year and a half later, I ended up going back to school. And my dad was just kind of asking me, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And by that time, to be honest, he just wanted me back in school. I was like, I'm a communication studies major. And he's like, well, what are you going to do with that? And I know I always wanted to be on TV helping women and just talking to people and inspiring others. And that's what I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. So I told him I wanted to be a communications major, and by that time he was just like, you know what, as long as you're in school and you're doing what you love, like, just get your degree. And so that was kind of like a little bit of me kind of opening my mouth to say something, because as a kid I kind of grew up as a yes daughter. Anything my dad wanted me to do, I was a yes girl. And I never voiced my opinion, because whether you did or not, it didn't really matter in an African household. So yeah, I went to school for communication studies, and then I ended up coming to KU after a year back at home. And at KU, once again, it was not my choice. Well, long story short, I had a boyfriend for almost a year, and we wanted to go to the same school. So he loved KU. I didn't even know KU existed, really. I didn't really know much about it. But I'm like, oh, how fun would it be to go to school with your boyfriend? You know, like, that's super cute. And so I worked my tail off my grades were already awesome at that time. So I applied, and he applied, and he got denied, and I got accepted. And at that time, I wasn't really telling my mom about having a boyfriend at the time. So I just had to come to KU, because I was like, I don't have a choice. This is the only school I applied to, and I was not about to stay in South Dakota any longer. I had to get out of there. Like, that place is a black hole. And so I came to KU. Once again, it was not a school of my choice, but because I was influenced by somebody in my life, I'm like, yeah, I want to go to KU. I know how awesome it would be. I came here knowing no one. Unfortunately, I got to meet some amazing women. So I developed great friendships and great educational friends and teachers and whatnot. But once again, it was not my choice. So I told myself in 2016, this would be the year that I put my foot down and I made all the decisions for my life, and I would be responsible for the consequences, whether it be good or bad. And so this year, even starting January, I started in December, and I just started making my plans for this year. And I'm like, okay, well, this is where I want to live. This is where I want to go to school. And this is my plan, including just the little stuff that I do with my YouTube and my website and all these things. So every day, it's been planning something, and my problem is I have so many plans and ideas that it's really hard to keep track of it because I have so many things that God gives me to bring to life. And hopefully I will be able to in the next 2-3 years. I started in December because I wanted to make sure that when January hit that I wasn't gonna just be sitting around not knowing what I was doing. And once again, as I'm planning my life and making sure that every decision that I made was because I wanted to make it and not because someone else was influencing me or my parents were saying yes or no to it. It was solely just Guye. Everything just kept going. Literally everything was just falling apart, and I did a lot of crying because, you know, sometimes when you start making your own decisions, you feel like you're upsetting your parents, so it's like a heartbreak for them, and it's also a heartbreak for you. So I did a lot of pity parties. I cried, but then at the end of the day, I realized that it's my life and God gave me this life to do something with it. So if I don't start making moves and I don't start making changes, I'm gonna be stuck here where I'm not moving, or I'm just stagnant, or I'm gonna get my life together and make moves. And so I started this journey, and it's so hard, but I have never felt more empowered than I have my whole life, because now I speak my mind, and if I don't like something, I address it, and if I feel like this isn't what I want to do, I say it instead of just keeping my mouth shut and just letting it happen. Just giving me strength. And so it's been a good journey, and I just kind of want to talk to anybody out there who may feel like, you know, they don't want the fear of disappointing your parents or the fear of disappointing your loved ones, but you have a dream or you have an idea or you kind of know where you want your life to go, and meaning you know from A to Z what the purpose of each action or plan that you are making, so that way you know that you're secure and you know why you're doing it. So for anyone who has struggled or is struggling with telling their parents something that they may not be happy about, whether it's pursuing something that's not in the traditional educational route, just open up. And I think being honest is the best medicine, because at the end of the day, if you know and it's a gut feeling that you're supposed to be doing something, you have to do it. Because I've sat back so many times because I was afraid of, like, oh my God, my parents are gonna be upset if I'm not in school and I'm not doing something else that I'm supposed to be doing, and I end up seeing somebody else do it, which is crazy. And so now I'm just like, you know what, if I'm given this vision, I have to make it happen, because if I don't, God will choose somebody else that will. And so that was a huge wake-up call for me, and I was just so tired of putting my passions on hold for, you know, making sure that I was okay with my parents. And I realized in life that it's okay to say no to your parents. I know, especially when you're Sudanese, like, let's just say African in general, because saying no to them is just like, it feels like a slap in the face to them. But then when you start proving your parents wrong and showing them that you said no for a reason and you're doing your thing because you're supposed to, then they understand. Like when I was I still am a communications major, but when I first started, my dad didn't really understand it. Then I started doing my YouTube channel and interviewing and stuff, and he started watching it, and he kind of understood, okay, I get why she's a communications major. and I get why she couldn't be a doctor or anything in the medical field or anything that he wanted me to be. So I started stepping into my hobbies and like what I liked and what I was good at. And so slowly but surely he started understanding. But I literally encourage anyone who feels like they're keeping their dreams in a box because they want to please others. Don't do that. Like, do not do that. Step out on faith. As long as you know God gave you that plan and you just pray on it and ask for discernment and let God reveal to you things and show you things, you will be fine. I just really want to share that with you guys because I feel like I know I'm not the only one who struggles with this. Like, I love my parents to death, and I always want to make sure that they know that everything that I do or everything that I want to do is for them also. So it's not just me, and I know that some things are bigger than me, but yeah, just learning to trust the process and learning to trust myself and learning to listen to the Holy Spirit when he speaks to me has paid off immensely. And so that was just a word of encouragement from me. Make sure you stand up for yourself. The worst thing you could do is break your parents' heart, but at the end of the day, they're gonna love you no matter what. So don't feel like it's the end of the world if they don't agree with you right away, but prove them wrong and show them that this is what you're meant to be doing and this is what you're supposed to be doing. And so I just wanted to leave you guys with that. I know I haven't really uploaded and I felt like I needed to. I also, to be honest, some days I feel super discouraged. I'll sit in front of the camera and will have nothing to say. Like, I'll do my makeup and I'll be ready to go and there's nothing to say. Like, and it's crazy because when I'm just in my room or at night, I have all these ideas. I'm like, oh my God, I want to talk about this. I want to jump in front of the camera, but it's like, oh, okay. I don't need to be jumping in front of the camera looking like that. But yeah, I just pray that you got, that hope that you guys pray for me and I get this courage and like the energy and just the wisdom to speak to you guys and yeah, meet with you guys. So thank you for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Anyone needs to talk, like I said, you can always email me, Facebook message me, tweet me, Snapchat me. You guys have all my social media, so feel free to reach out to me. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.